I hope you all are safe. I hope you all are fit and healthy. And I also hope that you are following the guidelines issued by the government. In our previous video, I have explained you about what is history. You have got the knowledge about what we will learn from history, why the history is important for us, what is the definition of history. In this video, we are headed to our next question, which is where. Where here indicates the places that were inhabited by the early men. The geographical factors determine the development of a particular area. The areas where the environment is favorable are densely populated. On the other hand, the places with an unfavorable environment are sparsely populated. Let us take an example of our country, India. The history of the Indian subcontinent has largely been influenced by its geography. The Indian subcontinent includes the land covered by the countries of South Asia like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, etc. It is termed as subcontinent because although it is smaller than a continent, but it is very large and is separated from the rest of Asia by seas, hills and mountains. Can you see river Narmada on this map? It is believed that people have lived along the banks of this river for several 100,000 years ago. Some of the earliest people who lived here were skilled gatherers, that is, people who gathered their food. They knew about the vast wealth of plants in the surrounding forest and collected roots, fruits, and other forest produce for their food. They also hunted animals. Now have a look at this map. You will find Suleiman and Kirtha hills located to the northeast of the subcontinent. It is believed that these are some of the places where people first started growing crops like wheat and barley around 8,000 years ago. People also started rearing animals such as sheep, goat, and cattle. Now find Vindhya ranges located at the central India and Garo hills located at the northeast part of India. These are also the areas where agriculture first developed. The north of the Vindhyas was the place where rice was first grown. Can you see river in this on this map? It is believed that some of the earliest cities flourished on the banks of these rivers around 4700 years ago. Now, the information about these earliest cities, the people who lived in those cities, the history of this river Indus is termed as Indus Valley Civilization or Harappan Civilization. About 2500 years ago, cities developed on the banks of river Ganga and its tributaries and along the sea coast also. Now, our next question is how do we find about the distant past, or how can we find about what happened decades or centuries ago? That means what are the various sources of history which gives us the information about what happened over decades or centuries ago. Historians collect information from a variety of sources to reconstruct the past. Sources of history can be classified into two main groups. First is archaeological sources and second is literary sources. Let us first find out what is archaeology. Archaeology is the scientific study of the past based on its physical remains. That means archaeology is the study of cultures of the past and of periods of history by examining the remains of buildings and objects found in the ground. It tells us something about the life and other habits of people who lived on the earth before the recorded history. The place from where these remains are excavated, that means dug out, is known as an archaeological site. Who is an archaeologist? A person who studies the objects found in an excavated site in order to reconstruct history is known as an archaeologist. Archaeological sources includes remains of buildings or monuments, coins or seals, artifacts, other objects like pottery, jewelry, tools, weapons, paintings, sculptures, etc. Let us have a look at the first archaeological sources of history, which is remains of buildings or monuments. Any building that has historical significance is considered to be a monument. It may either be buried under, as in the case of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, or it may be still standing like the Red Fort of Delhi, Taj Mahal in Agra, etc. Monuments may be in the form of temples, forts, palaces, stupas, monasteries, etc. They provide useful information about the development of art and architecture as well as the social and economic life of the people of the times when they were constructed. Coins and seals are the valuable sources of information about different aspects of life in the past. From the pictures and writings on coins, we come to know about rulers, the years of their reign, and the extent of their kingdoms. From the metals used for making the coins, we come to know about the economic lives of the people of that age. The study of coins is known as numismatics. Artifacts refer to the works of art such as painting, sculptures, ornaments, etc. They help us in giving valuable information regarding social and religious customs, food habits, clothing, and means of entertainment of the ancient people. Archaeologists find out, explore, and unearth tools, weapons, pots, pans, and ornaments by digging under the surface of the earth. These objects may be made of stone, bone, baked clay, or metal. Archaeologists also look for the bones of animals, fish, and birds to determine the food of the early men. Literary sources of history include all the written works that provide information about past. It includes inscriptions, manuscripts, and books written mainly by hand. What are manuscripts? Manuscripts are handwritten texts or documents. In the beginning, two types of materials were used for writing manuscripts: palm leaf or a specially prepared bark of a tree known as birch that grows in the Himalayas, and the dried animal skin. Later on, they came to be written on paper as well. These manuscripts are in the form of epics, poems, and plays. They were written in Sanskrit, Prakrit, and Tamil language. What are inscriptions? Inscriptions are writings engraved on hard surfaces such as stones, pillars, copper sheets, and caves. They generally conveyed kings' orders, their deeds, their preachings, etc. For example, the inscriptions of Ashoka. Kings often kept records of victories in battles as inscriptions. Literary sources can further be divided into two parts: religious writings and secular writings. Religious literature, that means religious writings, includes all the texts that deal with religious beliefs and practices. For example, the Vedas, the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, the Gita, the Purans, etc. These religious texts tell us about the social, political, economic, and religious lives of the people of ancient India. Secular literature, that means secular writings, includes all written texts that are non religious in nature. Autobiographies, biographies, court chronicles, and accounts of foreign travelers are all examples of secular literature or secular writings. All of these are important sources of history as they give us insight into the social and cultural lives of the people at that time. If you like this video, press the like button and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.